Hey guys, today we dive into a story about the underdogs of the galaxy, humanity. Picture this massive, sleek warships with advanced weaponry floating in space ready for battle. But then amidst all the galactic grandeur, a small human unit lands on the battlefield, fragile, unassuming, and looked down upon. The aliens think they're just another weak species to sweep aside, but they're about to learn just how wrong they are. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Now imagine this: while the galaxy's most advanced civilizations boast towering ships and weapon systems beyond human comprehension, humanity is considered an afterthought, a species that barely figured out space travel who still uses weapons that launch physical projectiles. The Galactic Council mocks them. Primitive, they say. How quaint, others laugh. They know nothing of humanity's true nature, nothing about the fierce heart that beats behind the fragile flesh of humans. The situation seems hopeless at first. A war between galactic powers has raged across the stars, and the humans, despite their resolve, were considered too weak to be relevant. Yet one human unit, fewer than 200 soldiers, marches into the fray with nothing but their courage and skills. The aliens, for all their advanced technologies, have no idea what's coming. It begins on a planet in the heart of enemy space. Humans aren't equipped with the vast fleets or ultra-powerful lasers their enemies wield. But they know something far more important: the power of unity and an unparalleled ability to think on their feet. When the first battle erupts, the alien forces quickly underestimate their opponents. 1,000 to 1 odds seem laughable. But those who have faced humanity even briefly know better. The enemy may have 1,000 ships, but the humans have something stronger: a will that cannot be bent. As the first blast from an enemy ship decimates a nearby structure, the humans remain calm. Instead of panicking, they take a deep breath. The battlefield shifts quickly from chaos to a brutal dance of tactics and maneuvering. Their weapons are primitive, yes, but their use calculated, precise. Their lives might be fragile, but the steel in their hearts is not. The human Marine captain, James Rodriguez, doesn't rely on advanced weapons to win. He orders his squad to move as one silent, unnoticed, weaving through the wreckage left by the enemy. Their plan: take down the enemy's command center, not with a bombardment, but with the element of surprise. The aliens, expecting a fleet-wide offensive, never anticipate a ground assault from such a small force. Rodriguez's team moves swiftly and silently, knowing that every step could be their last. They reach the enemy's command post, and without hesitation, the humans breach it, taking out key alien officers in an instant. They didn't need vast fleets. They needed precision. While the enemy's fleets bicker over larger tactics, the humans show them that it's the small, sharp victories that can win the war. The battle rages on, and the humans' early successes don't go unnoticed. The enemy, the Xel'gor, a race of hulking, energy-wielding creatures, are stunned. Not by the strength of humanity's weapons, which are outclassed by the Xel'gor's superior technology, but by the sheer audacity of the humans' tactics. The Xel'gor, masters of energy-based warfare, expect to overwhelm their enemies with blasts of concentrated firepower, but instead they find themselves tangled in an intricate web of deception and guerrilla warfare. Humans don't fight like anyone else. The Xel'gor commanders are left puzzled, unable to comprehend how a species with such primitive weapons and technology can hold their ground so fiercely. Yet each skirmish, each encounter, proves more than enough to rattle the confidence of the alien forces. A single human Marine Lieutenant, Sarah Reynolds, takes down an entire platoon of Xel'gor soldiers with nothing but her wit and a flare gun. The Xel'gor, expecting a long-range fight, never imagine that their own heavily armored units will be taken out by a single human exploiting their blind spots. "You didn't think we were going to fight fair, did you?" Sarah smirks as she watches the Xel'gor retreat, their towering forms stumbling over the rubble they had just created. There's a calm in her voice that unnerves the Xel'gor even as their technology falters. The human ingenuity behind this battle isn't in the guns or the armor. It's in the way they use what they have to the fullest. While the Xel'gor are built to endure, their enemies aren't. The humans know this instinctively. They use their surroundings, the environment itself, against the aliens, laying traps that leave the Xel'gor wondering how they were ever so arrogant as to think they could win a war with superior weaponry alone. With each victory, humanity's reputation grows. Soon the Xel'gor commanders stop calling them weaklings and start calling them the undying ones. But the truth is even more terrifying than that: they don't fight to survive, they fight to win. And then the first shockwave hits. A Xel'gor mothership, the Oran Axis, enters the field. Its dark, sleek hull gleams with destructive energy, and its engines emit a low hum that vibrates the very fabric of space. The Oran Axis is a weapon of nightmare designed to wipe entire planets from existence. If the humans had been anyone else, it might have been a death sentence. But these are humans, and they fight differently. Captain Rodriguez stares at the massive ship, calculating. His Marines are outnumbered, outgunned, and outclassed, but Rodriguez has been in worse situations. "You all remember what we're fighting for," he tells his squad. "We don't need to beat them with technology. We need to beat them with brains." The plan is simple: exploit the one thing that the Xel'gor haven't anticipated: human unpredictability. Under the cover of a simulated retreat, Rodriguez's team leads the Xel'gor into a narrow asteroid field. The plan hinges on the fact that the Xel'gor mothership is massive, unwieldy, and too slow to navigate the twisting maze of rocks and debris. What the Xel'gor don't realize is that the humans are setting a trap that will use their own arrogance against them. As the Xel'gor mothership gives chase, the humans suddenly pivot. A series of magnetic mines placed at strategic points detonate in rapid succession, creating a chain reaction that throws the mothership into a collision course with one of the larger asteroids. The massive ship, despite its power, is incapable of evasively maneuvering in time. The Xel'gor fleet watches in horror as their mighty warship begins to spiral out of control. The once unstoppable vessel smashes into the asteroid with an enormous explosion, throwing debris across the battlefield. For the first time in weeks, the Xel'gor realize that their overwhelming strength can be undone by something they hadn't accounted for: human creativity. In the quiet after the storm, Rodriguez's team stands tall, their faces covered in dust and sweat, their hands trembling slightly with adrenaline. They may not have the advanced weaponry or technology, but they have something far more important: their minds, their unity, and their refusal to accept defeat. The Xel'gor now thoroughly shaken retreat, leaving behind a battlefield that no one expected humanity to win. And with each victory, the humans solidify their place among the stars. The galaxy may have thought them fragile, but humanity has proven time and again that it's not the body but the spirit that matters most. The human's reputation continues to grow as word spreads across the galaxy. But with that reputation comes danger. The Xel'gor aren't the only ones watching. As their technology advances, other alien species take notice of humanity's stunning victories. Some look upon them with envy, while others, recognizing the threat, begin to prepare their own fleets. Captain Rodriguez's squad is sent to yet another front line, this time on a desolate moon in the Zha'gar system. The Zha'gar, an insectoid species, had quickly grown to resent humanity's rise. Seeing humans as a threat to their dominance, they prepare an overwhelming force, not just in numbers, but in technological power. The Zha'gar's main weapon is a colossal device capable of obliterating entire cities with a single blast. If it's deployed, humanity would be wiped off the map in an instant. Rodriguez stands on the barren surface of the moon, looking out over the horizon, his gaze steady. His team is small compared to the incoming Zha'gar army, but they've fought this way before, outnumbered, outgunned, but never outclassed. "You know what we do," Rodriguez says to his team, his voice calm but firm. "We stop them before they can bring that weapon online." The plan: infiltration. Once again, humanity's greatest strength lies in their ability to adapt and think on their feet. Rodriguez's team, disguised as part of a Zha'gar scouting party, sneaks through their lines. The Zha'gar may have the numbers and technology, but they don't have the instinct for the quiet, subtle acts that humans thrive in. The device, located deep in the Zha'gar fortress, is protected by a swarm of soldiers, each one stronger and larger than any human. But the Zha'gar are predictable in their overconfidence. They think they've already won. The humans, they think differently. Sergeant Maria Rodriguez, known as the sharpest tactician in the squad, spots a weakness. The Zha'gar are fiercely organized, but they lack the flexibility of humans. Using their own tactical flaws against them, the humans infiltrate the fortress, carefully avoiding patrols and setting traps for the Zha'gar sentries. It's a deadly game of cat and mouse, with each side walking on a razor's edge. Inside the fortress, the humans are closing in on the weapon. Time is running out. The Zha'gar forces are closing in, and the device is just moments away from being activated. But Maria has a plan: one final move that could turn the tide. Using a combination of stolen Zha'gar technology and human ingenuity, she hacks into the mainframe of the Zha'gar's command center. In a moment of sheer brilliance, she reroutes the power grid, causing a massive blackout that disables the device just as it was about to fire. The Zha'gar are thrown into chaos. Without their weapon, they have no chance. The humans, in a series of daring moves, disable the rest of their offensive systems, forcing the Zha'gar to surrender. Another impossible victory. The victory is hard-earned, but the message is clear. Humanity has mastered the art of the unexpected. While the Zha'gar thought their overwhelming firepower would secure victory, humanity's ability to think to outmaneuver and to exploit even the smallest openings has turned the tide. Rodriguez's squad emerges from the fortress, battered but undefeated, their spirits unbroken. The galaxy is beginning to understand the true nature of humanity. The Xel'gor learned the hard way, and now the Zha'gar have too. But for every victory, there's always a larger challenge on the horizon. And humanity is ready. As the humans march off the battlefield, a new alien species, one that has been watching from the shadows, begins to prepare. They understand that humanity is no longer just a small player in the galactic theater. The tides are shifting. The humans' legend is growing, and the universe, for all its might and technology, can't seem to stop them. The tide of war has shifted irrevocably. No longer viewed as weak or expendable, humanity has become a symbol of something much more powerful: resilience. But with this newfound respect comes the inevitable question: how long can they hold out? Their enemies are numerous and growing in strength, and every victory comes at a cost. Captain Rodriguez, though battle-hardened and ever-confident, feels the weight of leadership heavier with each passing day. His team, still intact but showing signs of exhaustion, faces their toughest challenge yet. The war is no longer just about survival. It's about proving that humanity's spirit can overcome anything, no matter how impossible. Yet as time drags on, even Rodriguez starts to wonder if this last stand will be their undoing. The Xel'gor and Zha'gar are no longer the only forces to fear. The Zenthorr, an ancient mysterious race who have spent millennia watching from the edges of the galaxy, have taken notice. Known for their dark energy manipulation and nearly indestructible fleets, the Zenthorr see humanity as a threat not just to their domain, but to the entire balance of the galaxy. "Rodriguez, we have a problem," Sergeant Maria Rodriguez says, her tone far more serious than usual. "We've intercepted a Zenthorr fleet. They're heading straight for us. No negotiation, no warning. Just a full-scale assault." Rodriguez stares at the glowing holographic map in front of him, his eyes scanning the movements of the Zenthorr fleet as it closes in. These creatures are not like anything humanity has faced before. Their ships seem to be made of pure dark matter, their weapons capable of ripping through entire fleets with ease. Yet just like with every other enemy, Rodriguez refuses to be intimidated. "They think they can break us," he mutters mostly to himself. But they don't know what they're dealing with. The plan is simple: make them think humanity is weak again. The Zenthorr may have all the power in the universe, but they underestimate the one thing they don't have: human adaptability. Rodriguez orders his team to draw the Zenthorr in, but not in the way they expect. Instead of engaging them head-on, the humans use their most potent weapon, their environment. The battle takes place on a barren moon surrounded by asteroids and debris fields. The Zenthorr ships, though powerful, are large and unwieldy. The humans, on the other hand, are nimble. The human ships dart in and out of the asteroid field, using the debris as cover, while luring the Zenthorr into a trap. The Zenthorr fleet, assuming the humans are cornered, moves in for the kill, but it's exactly what the humans want. At the perfect moment, Rodriguez gives the signal. A massive barrage of EMP bursts disables several of the Zenthorr ships, sending them into disarray. The humans use the Zenthorr's own power against them, turning their energy weapons back on the fleet's core systems. It's a desperate gamble, but it works. For a moment, the Zenthorr fleet falters, unsure of how to respond. The humans, however, press forward with relentless resolve, taking down one massive ship after another. The battle is far from easy. The Zenthorr retaliate with fierce attacks, but the humans refuse to yield. Every time they're knocked down, they get back up more determined than ever. By the time the Zenthorr realize they've been bested, it's too late. The humans have won again, their underestimation of humanity's resilience proving to be their fatal mistake. As the last of the Zenthorr ships retreat into the black void of space, the humans stand victorious once more, though not without a heavy cost. The physical toll of the war weighs heavily on Rodriguez's squad. Their bodies are bruised, their minds weary, but their spirits remain unbroken. "We've done the impossible again," Sergeant Maria Rodriguez says, wiping the sweat from her brow as she surveys the battlefield. "But how long can we keep doing this?" Rodriguez looks out at the stars, his gaze unwavering. "As long as we have to. As long as there's one more fight left in us." In the aftermath, as the human forces prepare for what will surely be another relentless wave of enemy ships, a quiet truth settles over the battlefield. Humanity may not have the technological might of the other species, but they possess something far more powerful, an indomitable fighting spirit. That is the strength that no weapon can ever defeat. The galactic community is beginning to realize the true nature of humanity. Their reputation, once built on weakness and naivety, is now rooted in respect. The galaxy's most powerful civilizations know one thing above all else: when humans fight, they fight to win, not for survival, but for victory. And that is something no one can take from them. And with that, a new era begins. One where the humans are no longer the underdogs, but a force to be reckoned with. As the final echoes of battle fade into the cold silence of space, a sense of calm settles over the humans who stand at the precipice of something far larger than themselves. They've faced the impossible, conquered the unconquerable, and in doing so, they've reshaped the galaxy's perception of what it means to be human. For all their advanced weaponry, the galaxy's other civilizations have learned that brute force alone can't win wars. The true strength of humanity lies not in their ships, not in their weapons, but in their courage, unity, and ingenuity. They've shown that no matter how fragile the human body might seem, the spirit inside is unyielding, pushing past every obstacle with a resilience that no other species could have foreseen. Rodriguez's squad, though battle-worn and scarred, stands tall. They know the war isn't over, that there will always be another fight, another battle to win. But they also know this: no matter the odds, no matter the size of the enemy, the human will to survive, to win, will always carry them forward. With each battle, humanity proves that they are not just survivors, they are warriors. And warriors can never be defeated as long as they have the will to stand and fight again. As the final light of the stars flicker above, Rodriguez looks to the horizon, knowing this war is far from over. But as always, humanity is ready. The battle has only just begun.